name is Armand Zeddies. I've been a patient of OSC for something in the 10, 12-year range, I think. Um, we moved back to Williamsburg about 2010. I had previously had a number of physical problems, but back surgery was probably the most significant of those. I had a fusion performed about 35 years ago by Dr. Balderston, who, as it turns out, was one of Dr. Carlson's mentors, which is an interesting fact. Anyway, he did a fusion of L4 and L5 when I was getting to the point of thinking I was going to be in a wheelchair for the rest of my life, and at 40, early 40s at that time, that was not a prospect that I wanted to consider, so I went looking for help. Went through a series of chiropractic exercises trying to find a way to non-invasively correct the problem that I was having. I could stand up, run, sit, do anything I wanted for 12 to 15 minutes, after which I had to sit down, lay down, or fall down. So surgery had gotten to be the only choice. Went through that successfully, and it worked for 35 years or thereabouts, until wear and tear over the years got it to the point where I needed to do something. So I went through the same exercise, trying to non-invasively correct the issue, but the damage above and below the fusion finally got to the point where it needed to be done more invasively. So talked to Dr. Carlson. We did go through the non-invasive techniques, mostly to tie down exactly where the problem was and what needed to be done. After which we scheduled the surgery, and it took place in July 27 last year, 2022. And I went into rehab. Dr. Carlson prescribed several weeks of that, so I think I went to like 6 weeks or 8 weeks of rehab with a physical therapist company, and it was in Williamsburg. Very, very effectively got me back. Dr. Carlson clearly lets you know he knows what he's doing, and it's clear. And I developed a total confidence in, if he thinks it's the right thing to do, then I'm in. See, but my wife is also a patient of Dr. Carlson. She has had both knees replaced, one at a time. Thank you. Her experience was perfect. I mean, it worked out very, very well, and she's fully mobile now. And but there was no question in my mind once her first knee went through. In fact, I think her second. She went through her second one before I got to Dr. Carlson. He's also done one of my carpal tunnels. Dr. Coleman also did my other shoulder. I think it's important for people to realize and understand that there are solutions to these problems. And when it comes down to really digging into the real reason and the correction thereof, surgery is an answer you want to consider. And I would say Dr. Carlson is right on top of the pile. He's as good as any that I've had, and that would include Dr. Balderston. When Dr. Carlson did this surgery, he had to remove everything that had been put in before, techniques and I assume that the materials that are used have changed, and this time it was a 4 vertebrae fusion, L2 through 5. So my entire lower back is pretty solid, but I can still touch my toes. And now, after a few weeks of physical therapy, I can still do my full workout, back to doing all kinds of crazy things in the gym. I've always been athletically inclined. I was a gymnast, which is how I initially got the back issue started. But this has corrected it. We, our lives are back to normal. My wife and I, we both go to the gym. Try to go 3 times a week. So this will be our second time this week. We went Monday, so that feels really great. I was happy not to have to make the choice of sitting in a wheelchair for the rest of my life. And at 78, it wouldn't be quite as alarming as it was when I was 40, but it's nice not to have to be looking at that again. So life-changing, absolutely. Anybody that would question the value of going through this shouldn't. I mean, you just shouldn't. When you have that kind of a resource available, take advantage of it. Do what you got to do. Sitting here right now, I have absolutely no pain. I'm not even aware of it, which is even better than the first time around. It's just amazes me that can even be done. I feel totally indebted to Dr. Carlson for getting me here.